Hi, everyone. My name is John Lewis. I'm originally from South Mississippi. I grew up in Biloxi. I'm a graduate of Biloxi High School from 1988. I'm also a military veteran and a retired Biloxi police officer. Now I'm serving full-time in ministry, working up here with Mile One Mission. It's a local church planting organization based out of Calvary Baptist Church in St. Johns, Newfoundland. I'm also affiliated with the North American Mission Board through the Southern Baptist Convention. I've been a member of FBC Biloxi since the summer of 2006. Recently, Pastor Mark Birch from the Northview Community Church in Abbotsford, British Columbia, traveled to St. Johns, Newfoundland to preach at the Calvary Baptist Church. One of the things he did was he shared with us some statistics I want to share with you. Every year, between 300 and 400 churches in North America are permanently closing their doors. Now, that might seem a little bit hyperbolic to you there in the Bible Belt, but I can assure you that's a very real number. Up here, if you travel through Newfoundland and Labrador, you'll see many closed churches, and they are closed permanently. Many of the properties are currently for sale as well. Now, 85%, that's the number of churches in North America that have plateaued or are in decline. They're no longer growing. 95%, that's the number of churches in North America that will never send out a church planter. Now, FBC Biloxi, you're blessed because you've sent at least 2 in the last 10 years. And finally, 2%. That's the percentage of people that are actually growing the church from evangelism. Most churches are growing these days from people moving around city to city, or they're getting tired of the church they're currently in, so they move to a different church. Only 2% comes from true evangelism. Over the last 30 to 50 years, the church has been in serious decline in Canada, particularly in eastern Canada. In South Mississippi, you have approximately 30% of your population that attends church on a Sunday morning. Now, that's not great. That's less than a third. But here in this province, it's less than 1% actually go to church. The churches are closing left and right. The buildings are being sold. And the reason why a lot of this decline has happened is because many of the denominations moved away from preaching the Bible. They certainly stopped preaching the gospel message too. Mile One Mission wants to plant churches that preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and Him being the only path to salvation. Addictions cause a ripple effect in society. As a result, there are many broken families, lots of domestic violence, a lot of runaway teenagers, lots of depression, and the suicide rates are very much above normal here. In order to conquer this problem, it's going to be a generational thing. But fortunately, we serve a God who's bigger than that. Jesus is more. And as long as people have the gospel, they can overcome these addictions and overcome these problems that they face in society. We want to be a church here, especially in Goose Bay Labrador, that can help people get back on track and see the real purpose in living and who they're living for. Christians want to help. We want to bring the message of salvation to people. We want them to hear the gospel. And we want them to know that the indwelling presence of the Holy Spirit will help them overcome these addictions, can help heal their personal and their family problems. But it takes time. We have to earn their trust, and we have to tread lightly here. There's a lot of animosity here between different groups and different peoples, and especially between the church and the people. Nobody differentiates between the Catholic and the Protestants here because there's so many unbelievers or so many people that are just ignorant to what the church is. So therefore, it takes time and it takes dedication and effort. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going to need a team to help me with this. At Mile One Mission, we would love for mission teams coming from the United States to go to St. Johns, Newfoundland, Canada first. We want you to see that city and experience the culture that's so unique to the rest of North America. We also want you to see what we're talking about as far as the societal problems that go. You can see it firsthand. and what it's like to be in a post-Christian environment that's very much postmodern. However, we would also like mission teams to come up here to Goose Bay Labrador. This is a very remote place. It would be very much a different type of mission trip in that it would be more of a hands-on trip. There's a lot of work that needs to be done here with this facility and the grounds, and also out in the community. There's a lot of things we could help with because the community simply just doesn't have the money, the funds to get things done. And that's where the church can step in and help. So we welcome you, whether you want to go to St. John's or to Goose Bay or incorporate both in one trip. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little expensive because of the remote nature of this kind of trip. But I can assure you, once you come up here, you'll fall in love with this place and your heart will break for these people and you'll be all the more dedicated to us in prayer. I left Biloxi, Mississippi in March of 2021, and ever since then I live and work in St. Johns, Newfoundland, Canada, and I'm working with Mile One Mission as a team member on a church plant called the Kilbride Community Church. And that church was originally planted in 2019, but the pandemic restriction caused everything to be on hold for a couple of years. And we just had our first church service down there in June of last year, and it seems to be taking hold pretty well in the community. Now my focus is changing, and as you can tell, I'm inside of a church building right now, and this is the Northern Cross Community Church. Now this little church here is pretty much dead. There's probably a handful of people that come here on a Sunday morning. They asked us for help because they don't want to see this church become another statistic and close its doors permanently. So we're looking to relaunch this church in the spring or summer of next year, and it's going to take a lot of work. I'm recruiting a team currently, possibly one or two more other pastors or missionaries that can help me with this project. At the end of November of this year, I'm going to have my status change from being a team member to being a team leader. And Northern Cross Community Church is going to be my project. Thank you for your interest in our mission up here. This is my email address, and I welcome you to contact me if you ever have any questions or suggestions or anything you'd like to know about this region. If you'd like to see more photographs, you can also follow me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I also try to post for the Northern Cross Church on Instagram as well. And also sign up for the Mile One Mission newsletter. It comes out every month, and it usually has all the details about what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish here. It also gives some good suggestions for local churches that might be planning on mission trips up here as well. Thank you all once again. God bless you all, and I appreciate everything you do and your support for me.